here's a breakdown of an average summer day hanging out as a kid with my best friend Mark. I'd wake up, get on my bike, ride to Mark's house in time to sit on the couch with him and watch Price is Right. Then we had some bagel bites. Then we'd go in the front yard, play some wiffle ball, usually until we got cramps from the bagel bites. Then we'd go downstairs in the basement and play N64 until I had to go home to eat dinner. Hell yeah. That was an awesome day.
Thank you.
Every time. Alright, so that was what Mark and I did growing up, my best friend. But Mark and I ended up going to different middle schools and different high schools and eventually different states for college. So it was harder and harder to hang out. I was home from college one day after my sophomore year. And I'm hanging out, and now my job was a camp counselor, and the best part about the job was every time it rained, I get the day off with pay. So we had 3 days of rain, and actually there was tons of flooding. So even after the rain stopped, my park was underwater. So I was just hanging out at home. Mark called me up. Hey dude, what are you doing? Nothing, watches Price is Right. Hell yeah. You seen the Columbia River, or the Conestoga River lately? I'm like, oh yeah. See, my mom lives next to a golf course and has this old Conestoga River running through it. And I'm like, dude, the Conestoga is up to like the 12th hole. It's totally flooded over. And he goes, yeah. You wanna do some tubing? And I'm like, yeah! So Mark hops in his car, comes over. He would have been over sooner, but they were playing Mountain Climbers, and that's his favorite game. So he got to my place around the showcase. And we were sitting filling up. Now Mark didn't have like a classic tube. He had one of those crappy plastic ones that you get at like a pool supply warehouse that's kind of painted like a tire for no reason. So he had one, not two, just one. And so we're just sitting on a couch and he's... As the news comes on after Price is Right, and they say, flooding continues around the Susquehanna Valley. Please do not anyone go in the water. There is a strong undercurrent. And Mark, between breaths, this is a terrible idea, Mike. I'm like, hell yeah it is. And he goes, but we're getting in the water. I'm like, hell yeah we are. So Mark and I put on swimsuits and we run down to the 12th hole and we literally just stick the thing in the water and just wade in, put 1 foot each in a tube and then just drift into the current. And we sit there long enough to realize this is really fucking boring. This is just stupid. At which point Mark turns to me and goes, Mike, isn't the sewage treatment plant upstream here? And Mark's right, so we got on the 12th hole, and the 6th hole you actually look over the sewage treatment plant. And I go, yeah it is. And he goes, how much you want to bet that's backed up right now with all the flooding? And I'm like, there's amazing silence when two people realize they're floating in a river of poo. So we just float there in just sadness, and I look ahead of me and there's this bridge over the river. And suddenly it hits me. I don't know how we're gonna get home. I turned to Mark, I'm like, dude, how are we gonna get back to my house? Remember, we just got in a tube and got in the water and just started floating. No real plan exactly what was gonna happen after that. So we're floating towards this bridge and I look up and there's 3 guys in a truck and they got a winch out. They're hoping to bail people out. But Mark and I, no. So we're floating towards it and there's a bunch of debris hanging under the, stuck up under the bridge. Yeah, thank you. So, I was in the swim team, so as we approached the bridge, the guys in the truck yelled down, you boys want some help? Because I live in the Alabama part of Pennsylvania, by the way. And Mark and I go, no! And then we pull up this brilliant maneuver where I jump out of the tube, Mark drifts over in the tube, grabs onto the debris in the middle of the river, holding on to the current. I, being the swimmer, but not willing to put my face into, poop water, I'm just doggy paddling my way over to the bank. I get to the bank and I reach out for a limb and I grab on, and as I grab on, I get a handful of thorns and my own blood. And I'm like, ah! I'm just holding on. I go, hey Mark, come on man! And Mark, like holding onto the tube, just pushes off from the debris and reaches out and grabs my arm and I swing him around and he grabs onto the branch and gets tons of thorns and a handful of blood. He's like, dude, why would you grab onto this branch? Like, I didn't know what to do. So Mark and I start plodding through this just maze of thorns. And we're getting our legs cut up pretty good, and all of a sudden we get this burning sensation. I don't know if they have it here in Georgia. Have you guys heard of burn hazel? It's like poison ivy, except instead of itching, it makes everything feel like it's on fire. And that's when you're not bleeding all over your legs and in 3 feet of shit water, okay? Everything from like here down on me is just in flames, okay? And Mark and I try to walk our way onto the shore, and we're just screaming, "Ah! Oh, God damn it, Mark, it's a terrible idea! I know, but we got in the water anyway!" Hearing this, the guys in the truck look down and go, "You boys sure you don't want some help?" And in harmony, Mark and I instantly turned, "No!" I shit you not, the second we said that, you know what happened? Wasps. And they weren't, and these wasps were pissed, and I've never met a wasp who was nice, so these were pissed off wasps, like for wasp standards. These wasps had gone through Wasp Hurricane Katrina, okay? Their whole world was underwater right now. And they were looking for somebody to fuck up, and that was me and Mark. Covered in blood and in shit water. So before I can even see them coming, I just hear Mark, before he can yell, just go, "Run!" And we burst out of this water like two salmon swimming upstream, just white flashes flailing out of the water, rubbing our legs, bleeding, covered in burn haze, on fire. We run through the golf course, through gravel, up the street, half a mile, back to my mom's house. I was hanging out with my best friend again, and it was an awesome day.